the disguised niece of the king, Lady Éowyn of Rohan, bringing us the next event on our list, Éowyn versus the Witch King. Éowyn was born in Rohan in 2995 of the Third Age. She was the daughter of Eomund, chief marshal of the Riddermark, and his wife Theodwyn, the sister of King Theoden. She was the sister of Éomer, bearing the same passion for the protection of her realm as he and the rest of her family. They were left to the care of their uncle when their parents died in Third Age 3002, and grew up to be proud and faithful servants of Rohan. Before the Battle of the Hornburg, Éowyn was trusted with the leadership of Meduseld, the Golden Hall of Rohan, while the king and his army were away. The Witch King of Angmar was the lord of the Nazgul and Minas Morgul, formerly a mortal man, who donned a ring of power from Sauron. He quarrelled often with Glorfindel earlier in the Third Age, the legendary elf who prophesied that the Witch King would not die by the hand of a man. The Witch King would become one of the Dark Lord's major forces in the fight for Middle-earth, specifically in the War of the Ring. The hunt for the ring led him and the other Nazgul throughout the realm, becoming adversaries of Aragorn and the hobbits he protected. He was charged with preparing the armies in Minas Morgul and leading the invasion of Gondor, which took place on March 10th, Third Age 3019. During the Battle of Pelennor Fields, where the aforementioned Ride of the Rohirrim took place, the Witch King had left his quarrel with Gandalf at the gates of Gondor to attack the King of Rohan. Theoden fell under the crushing weight of his horse, mortally wounded. The leader of the Nazgul and his fell beast were then met by the Lady of Rohan, or Éowyn in her disguise, as Dernhelm. She faced off with the ghostly being, slaying the fell beast with a slash to its neck. But her shield and the arm that held it were broken thereafter by the massive mace of the Witch King. Vulnerable and facing death, Merry the Hobbit came to the rescue with a blade of Arnor, stabbing the Witch King and bringing him to his knees. Merry broke his arm in that exchange as well. The final blow was struck by Éowyn, who was not a man and therefore qualified to slay this dark servant and avenge her uncle and king. She survived the duel by a narrow margin after the Witch King infected her with the Black Breath, leaving her in a weakened state for a time. Éowyn's courage in her service to Rohan and the people she loved stands out as a shining example of valor in this series. Her character is widely considered one of Tolkien's best female figures. The concluding moment of this epic list is also the series of events that conclude the War of the Ring, the Battle of the Morannon, and the destruction of the One Ring. On March 17th, a year after refusing Sauron's demands for loyalty and information on the Shire, the forces of Erebor and Dale defended against a new threat. An Easterling army of 20,000 from Rhûn invaded Dale, meeting King Bran's 3,500 men and Dain II's 2,500 dwarves before they reached the city walls. A fierce three-day battle ensued. The Easterlings' numbers ultimately forced the men and dwarves to retreat behind Erebor's walls, where both King Brand and King Dain II fell, Dain heroically defending Bran's body to the last moment. Now under siege, their only hope lay with the men of the West, who had left Gondor on March 18th following the last debate, a council of wise leaders that sought to draw out Mordor's forces so Frodo and Sam could complete their mission. They would serve as the decoy, knowing they were outnumbered and outmatched. Lothlorien had, too, been attacked on the 17th, but was secure thanks to the Galadrim and the assistance of Galadriel's ring, Nenya. The army of Gondor eventually arrived at the Morannon, save those sent to liberate Caer Andros. Less than 6,000 gathered in total, while Aragorn and Gandalf met with the Black Númenórean, known as the Mouth of Sauron, outside of the Black Gate. He tried to convince them of Frodo's capture and threatened to torture him unless they surrendered. However, Gandalf called his bluff and they retreated. The Black Gate spewed out Sauron's army of various monsters and men, as well as from the surrounding hills. The men of the West fought in spite of the odds. The battle was split largely among two separate hills, with one force led by Éomer and Imrahil, and another led by Gandalf and Aragorn. Gwaihir and the great eagles took on the Nazgul and their fell beasts as they terrorized the sky. All the while, Sam carried Frodo to the cracks of doom. In the final moment, standing above the fields of Orodruin, Frodo resisted the destruction of the One Ring and placed it on his finger. This act caught the attention of Sauron and the Nazgul immediately, shifting focus from the Morannon to Mount Doom. The fighting dimmed as the Hour of Doom grew to a climax. Gollum, however, bit the ring-bearing finger off of Frodo and fell into the volcano along with his precious. The ferocious blast of Mount Doom then consumed the Nazgul, and Sauron's campaign in Middle-earth was extinguished, along with the One Ring, on March 25th, Third Age 3019. Mordor's army panicked. The orcs were slain, and the enemy's slaves were given lands to the south by Aragorn. This battle was not the final skirmish of the War of the Ring, but it decisively ended Sauron's presence in Middle-earth, and thus any real chance of victory over the Free Peoples. This battle continues the spirit of Aragorn and the forces of light in Middle-earth refusing to submit to a much more powerful and evil being. It is also the best example of Tolkien's concept of eucatastrophe, where the heroes are saved just in time by divine intervention. Eru Ilúvatar's will is carried out through miraculous circumstance, concluding the Fellowship's quest to destroy the ring. Through each of these 10 moments in The Lord of the Rings, Tolkien fans can find inspiration to be the most courageous and loving versions of themselves. They speak to the mortal spirit of the story and the legendarium at whole. It is no coincidence that this tale has galvanized people throughout the globe of various ages, cultures, and beliefs into a shared community, and a very positive one at that. We hope you've enjoyed revisiting these moments as much as we have, and look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below. Please let us know which is your favorite, or ones that we may have missed. For now, farewell friends, and thank you again for tuning in to Secrets of the Rings.